Hello again, this is Bishop Doherty. During the course of my travels, it's important that people understand things that I'm saying and I have to be sure they understand the meanings of certain things in our church. And it's amazing that we don't appreciate certain things exist unless we have a name for them. So today I want to talk about the different levels of church that we might experience, and each of these has a very real level. The first level is what we call the domestic church. And it became popularized, that phrase, after the Vatican Council, because the Council refers to our homes, moms, dads, and children, as being the domestic church. Of course, in some cultures, there are multi-generations that live in a home, but that still would be called the domestic church. And that's where people really learn the faith, learn how to pray, and exercise the faith in close proximity to those that we're supposed to love. The next level is called the local church. Now, this came out of the 1960s, and you have to remember things getting transferred out of Latin and all these international meetings. But the meaning of local meant diocesan. It didn't mean parish. So the local church is a diocese, all the parishes and ministries under a bishop all together. The next level beyond the local diocesan church is the international church or the universal church. And that's the phrase we hear, and we use it in our prayers. We pray for the universal church. And that refers to the church in union with the Pope and around the world. Some people estimate that the universal church has over 1 billion Catholics in it, but I don't know who's doing the counting, but that's a pretty big number. Anyway, one of the misapprehensions that people have is something about, is there such a thing as a U.S. church, a U.S. Catholic church? And the answer is technically no. In other words, there's not one bishop in charge of the United States. Rather, there is an association of bishops called a conference, and in the United States, ours is called the United States Conference of Catholic Bishops. And it's a place where we can coordinate teaching. Sometimes if we want to teach on a national level, we come up with a document which sometimes has to be approved by Rome, but it's an association. It doesn't govern any particular diocese. And so this has been a thing in the last couple of years that has been new to some people. And it comes down to, the church is whole and entire in their diocese. Each diocese is a whole church. So I, as the bishop, am the head of this particular church, and we have all the powers we need to do the sacraments, to do masses, to do administration, to ordain people to ministry. So I hope this helps clear up a few things for people. But once you know those words and phrases, you can differentiate between levels of church that we speak of ordinarily in the Catholic Church, both in the United States and around the world. Every country has one of these conferences of bishops, so that's not unique to us. God bless you. Thank you for listening.